just a little review. I wanted you to look at this. I had made this and I didn't show it to you just so you get familiar of the three different classes. We have the patricians, which were the wealthy landlords. We have the plebeians, and then we have the slaves. Those were the three classes in Rome. Probably should know that. That's a pretty important question for you to know. The other part that we learned real quick, the government here. We see that the Senate had two councils. They elected, there's 300 representatives of the Senate, and they elected two councils to represent them. And then we have, of course, starting with the Assembly of Representatives, we have the Assembly of the Centuries and the Assembly of Tribes. And this was the middle class of people that had started to gain some power in the midst as time went on with the government there in Rome. Very important because the Roman had developed this very intricate representative government in order to rule. But didn't always work, did it? We're going to talk first. There's this subject here, and I always get mixed up in this subject, so you need to put on your thinking caps and think about this, and I'll show you a way that I remember how you can remember about these wars. These were the first of the Roman wars. Rome, before it could become the world power, had to overcome certain big cities. And one of the big cities was the city of Carthage. Remember we studied about Carthage? It was a Phoenician city. Phoenicians start with PH, Phoenicians. The Phoenicians and the Philistines were both sea people. They had ships. And remember, they were merchants. They traded all the time. Well, there are two big Phoenician cities. One was in Tyre, and we talked about Tyre before. And Tyre ended up, first of all, being conquered the first time by Nebuchadnezzar. But as they rebuilt and moved to an island, Alexander the Great came in and basically built a causeway to the island and totally wiped out Tyre. Nothing was left, burned it down. So at this time, Tyre was not a big city, Phoenician city anymore. But then we have the city of Carthage. And Carthage would be one power that if you were going to control that area that you need to conquer, especially Rome. It was very close to Rome. So look on your maps. Remember I told you about the boot? Well, Italy is the boot, and the boot looks like it has a little heel, and it looks like it's kicking that island of Sicily. It's kicking the island of Sicily, and below the island of Sicily is like a little neck that comes out at sea. And it comes into a bay, and that's where Carthage is. Look on your map. So where are these wars going to happen? Right here, in this area. I call them the Puny Neck Wars. Why? Because after Rome comes in and boots Sicily out, boots the Carthaginians out of Sicily, kicks them out, it's like it knocks off their head, and all they have is a puny neck left. The reason I talk to you about this is because these were called the Punic Wars. The Puny Neck Wars. So whenever you see the word Punic, actually the word Punic means Phoenician, but as we in English, we was like, Punic Wars, what are they? Well, I call them the Puny Neck Wars because when we look on, we know a puny neck's going to mean that they get taken out. Hello? Hi. Mm-hmm. What the world?